to another episode of Roamancing Reads. In this episode, Erica Hargreave will be reading her article entitled Churchill, Manitoba Halloween, Polar Bears and Trick-or-Treaters. I find people's holidays and celebrations around the world to be fascinating and how unique they can be from one place to another. You'd think, though, that Halloween in Canada would be a pretty standard affair, albeit on a not-so-standard night. Ghosts and goblins intermingle with trick-or-treaters knocking on doors and hoping for handfuls of candy, spookily decorated neighborhoods, jack-o'-lanterns shining with huge grins out of the darkness, adults escaping to more youthful days by playing dress-up again, and even the odd prankster and fireworks. While they do have much of this in the town of Churchill, Manitoba, Halloween is anything but normal there. You see, joining the ghosts and ghouls that intermingle with the trick-or-treaters are polar bears. Churchill, or as the Inuit call it, Kuujjuaq, is a town in northern Manitoba on the western shore of Hudson Bay, roughly 110 kilometers from the Manitoba-Nunavut border. If you've heard of Churchill, it is likely due to its rather famous seasonal residents, the polar bear, who head through and occasionally hang out near Churchill when the ice melts on the Hudson Bay every summer, and again in the autumn as the Hudson Bay begins to freeze over again. And, as it would happen, the height of the polar bear migration through the polar bear capital of the world corresponds with Halloween. You think this would mean that trick-or-treating was a no-go in Churchill, Manitoba, or at least whatever paltry attempt was made at trick-or-treating was done indoors in a mall. But you'd be wrong. First of all, Churchill doesn't have a mall. And secondly, the locals actually embrace Halloween as their biggest holiday, and outdoor trick-or-treating is the most important part of that. At this point, I'm sure there are a few of you are picturing the children as the treats, while the polar bears show them such tricks as how to swallow them whole. Not at all. The 800 townspeople of Churchill actually claim the town back from the 1,000 polar bears for the night, and even place their celebrations ahead of that of the 10,000 tourists that descend upon Churchill during the migration. The Polar Bear Patrol, as it's called, is a town effort organized by Manitoba Conservation, RCMP, Parks Canada, EMS, Canadian Rangers, Manitoba Hydro, and the town of Churchill. Basically, throughout Halloween day and night, patrols scare polar bears away from Churchill or trap or tranquilize any bears that get too close to town. This is done humanely and with great care so as not to hurt the bears. But as you can imagine, this becomes a real Halloween horror for the bears, and certainly one of the scariest days of the year for them if they stray too close to what locals call Halloween Town for the day. But it does provide the children of Churchill with a night where they can be like any other Canadian kid and wander the streets to the thrill and excitement as they trick-or-treat. This is Erica Hargreave, and until next time, safe travels, especially if you're anywhere near Halloween Town this October 31st.